The last thing I will mention is that initially I was very, very turned off by the Constitution Party because I found it to have a lot of very religious people in it. And, you know, I'm a very religious person myself, but I mean, I don't tout it, etc. And so I was very turned off by it at first, but when I thoroughly reviewed the platform, I just decided that was, you know, that they were the best people to stick with, you know, despite their outward appearance.
Well, I hope you looked at our platform, not only the watered-down version we've been dealing with since 2006, but if you could go back to earlier records, back to 2004 and 2002. First of all, you'll find that there's probably an 80 to 90% correlation between us and the Constitution Party, and I think you'll see a lot there that you'll find worthwhile and admirable to advance liberty. You remember, liberty is one of God's greatest gifts. We all need to understand that better.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. We've got about 2 minutes before the commercial. I'm going to go to Frank in Pennsylvania. Good morning, Frank. How are you?
Good, Michael. How are you? And good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
I wanted to say hats off to him for standing for truth and liberty, because we need more people like him and in our running for president.
Absolutely, we do.
And for Congress and for state legislature.
On the issues we were speaking about earlier, about the bailout. I know it's a big topic, and it's getting a lot of attention, obviously. I'm really glad to see that the House voted it down. I mean, I was actually in amazement, actually, considering the fact that he did what they did. And I got to thinking about it. I was like, well, you know, probably if this wasn't an election year, probably would have went through, and there probably would have been hardly any media coverage of it, and it wouldn't have been, you know, it just would have, you know how things normally go when it's on an off election year. You know, things typically get run through the House and
so do you believe Congress voted against it as just kind of a publicity stunt?
Well, it seems as though it may have been, but I mean, I know there's a lot of people against it, and so I mean, I think they couldn't keep the lid on this can of worms very long. But I also noticed I do know one thing. I mean, I know that there's been other people speaking about this. Actually, Deborah Stevens was even mentioned about it last night on her show, her and Randy's show, is saying about, you know, even if the bailout goes through at $700 billion. You know, what that's going to do is it's going to devaluate currency, and it's going to cause hyperinflation. Maybe, you know, maybe not immediately, but, you know, 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road. It's just going to, you know, affect the purchasing power of the dollar because they're pumping more of it into existence.
Well, they say that if we vote for the bailout, we're going to have a depression, that we're going to lose our economy. If we don't vote for it, then we'll have the depression. If we do vote for it, we're going to lose our nation. This is Michael Badnarik. I'm not letting that happen. Give me a call, 512-646-1984. David Macko and I have our constitutional compass. We can point you in the direction of freedom and prosperity, but all you got to do is follow us. You got to take some action. David Macko is my friend and running for Congress in Ohio's 14th District as a Libertarian candidate. And I want to pick up with Frank from Pennsylvania. Did you have any other comments or questions for David?
Yeah, I just had a question for David. What he might think about what I was mentioning before the break. You know, I know it's kind of a wide assumption, but I just have a feeling this stuff is being orchestrated for a grander evil plan that may be waiting in the wings. But I just want to see what his take was on it. If in fact this whole thing about the $700 billion bailout, does your guest possibly think that this might be leading to the total devaluation of our currency so they could usher in a new currency such as, say, the Amero? And if so, what effect would that have on us in relationship to other countries?
You it would, the collapse of the dollar and the adoption of the euro, which is a very real possibility and a quite probable reason why this is all being orchestrated. And by the way, everything is orchestrated. It has been since the beginning of the world. It will be till the end of the world. We need to make sure that we start doing the orchestrating and not leave it to the adversary, not leave it to the enemy. Yeah, this could well be to collapse the dollar. If the euro is adopted for Canada, the United States, and Mexico, this would usher in the North American Union. It would mean the complete end of our Constitution and what's left of the Bill of Rights. Yeah, that's a very real possibility. And I'd like to talk for a few minutes. We've been speaking about the perils, and they're certainly obvious. They should be, and for your new listeners, they should be catching on right now. But I'd like to be positive and talk about solutions, things we have to do. First, we have to get rid of the Federal Reserve System. I support Ron Paul's bill to abolish the Fed. It was foisted on the American people in 1913. It's one of the planks of the Communist Manifesto to enslave us. It's robbed us of 99% of the value of our money. It's created all of the oppressions and all of the other business distortions that we're seeing now. It created this current mess. We need to get rid of it. We need to get rid of the legal tender laws. We need to allow people to trade in gold, silver, platinum, real things, not paper created out of nothing, in order to restore our prosperity. If we do that, we can get out of the Depression in a year or two. I urge everyone to read G. Edward Griffin's book, The Fearful Master. I urge everyone to read Eustace Mullins' book, Secrets of the Federal Reserve, so you know what the enemy has done to you, what the enemy has done to your currency. And an excellent movie, of course, is the late Aaron Russo's America, Freedom to Fascism. So these things would inform you all.
Amen.
Also, we need to get rid of the income tax. Ron Paul has also endorsed the Liberty Amendment to get rid of the income tax. That's a real economic stimulus that gives everybody who's working a 20% income increase every year from now on.
I couldn't have said it better myself, David. I mean, that's why I love you. You're out there, telling people what they need to hear and not what they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Frank,
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I could just hear it now on the talking head shows. They would be out there saying, "Oh, but we need an income tax. How is the government ever going to operate? How are we ever going to pay for all these social programs?"
Well, we won't. That's the point of it. We don't want to pay for the socialist programs. They're enslaving us. The Fed got along.
Intended to give us any type of benefit or social programs.
Correct.
They're there to keep our liberties safe from those who would take it from us.
You are correct, sir. You should run for office.
You should run for office, Frank. Have you run for office in the past?
No, but I'm getting older, and it's funny how when you get older, Michael, and I'm 42. I guess I'm not that old, but you don't start thinking about things that affect your life till you get to be our age, my age, and even younger. Because I was in this fight for quite a while now. I guess 15, 20 years going on now. And I've been waking up. But it's like when you're a kid and you're young, you just don't care. You're living free and high on life, I guess. But now I'm getting to the point now where it's like, I see all these things going on around me, and it's like I see them, but there's so many people that I work with and that I see on a daily basis. They're like in a daze. It's like their eyes are glazed over with this, like they're looking through a ruby-colored lenses,
Don't confuse me with the facts.
That's not really there.
I've got my illusions. Don't confuse me with the facts.
Oh my goodness, it's so frustrating. But at the same time, I'm planning on running for office here, probably, maybe here locally in my York, Pennsylvania. I might try to run for sheriff. I'm still working some things out. I have some other things I'm doing right now, but possibly I might.
Well, I hope there is still a United States for you to run for office for. I, like David, am very concerned about this North American Union. The Constitution has been under attack since 1913. The Bill of Rights is nothing but tattered shreds, And if we don't get the American people to wake up now, then, I mean, it's pretty much all over, but except for the fat lady singing. And, you know, this is not an option. Failure is not an option. We've got to save our country. We've got to save liberty, because in World War II, you know, the United States went in and, you know, we bombed Germany and basically saved Europe. Which country around the world is going to come in and save the United States? Who can we hope for to come and rescue us from the folly that we are currently? I mean, it's ridiculous.
There is no country that's going to save us.
No. So this is it. Draw your line in the sand. If we don't fix it here, then it never gets fixed. I'm going to go to Dan.
Before we do that, could I make another comment?
Sure.
Yes. A long time ago, I heard a speaker who had lived under both National Socialism and under International Socialism in the Soviet Union. And he discussed his experiences and told how he had come here. And he said that he had one advantage over all of us. He had some place to which to go. The American people do not. So hopefully Paine will wake the people up if attempts at giving them knowledge, such as you and many other good patriots have done, do not. That's our hope, that the American people wake up and see what's happening. Paine is a way of getting your attention, I guess.
Well, I've drawn my line in the sand a long time ago. This is my country. I'm not leaving. I'm going to kick those other bastards out of here.
I'm with you.
I'm going to Dan in Illinois. Good morning, Dan. How are you this morning?
I'm good, Michael. Good morning. How are you? Always good, you know that.
How are things in the land of Lincoln?
Oh, I tell you, it's just as bad here as it is all over. You know, there's one thing I have a strange, I shouldn't say a strange, but my train of thought is, you know, when you have a problem with something, I'm going to kind of use this as like picture this in your head. You know, your kitchen sink is not draining properly. And, you know, your average person doesn't go in there and just unclog the drain and forget to check the main where it's at. You know, it's getting to the heart of the problem. And from what my overall perspective is, when I get to the bottom of the problem that we're having here in this country and other countries are having, where is the heart of this problem at?
Tell us.
It's these elite. They call themselves elite. They're pegged elite. I want to puke when I hear the word elite because they're scum-sucking, just lazy
Be careful.
maggots.
He's saying exactly what I want to say.
You know, you can't. I can't. There's so much disgust. I don't even think there's a word in any language that can explain how low these families are. And the top of the list.
Not only, I mean, I started out thinking that they believed they were smarter than us and that they were trying to help us by, you know, running our lives for us. I now believe that they have no respect for us at all. They do believe that they are smarter than us, but worse than that, that we are human cattle.
They can't even cook for themselves.
That we exist only for their pleasure.